Good morning, people. Sound check. Let's hope that today we can start smoothly and go from there. Yesterday, there was sound issues. Then my video froze, so I just got power back actually. So it's been a tough start to the week. Some might say from a tech standpoint. So today, right, it is Tuesday, July 16th, and yesterday the S&P 500 made a new all-time high. Surprise, surprise. So we could be in for something of the sort on today's session as well, and I'll break down what that looks like and how that kind of plays out. How to identify, some of these trend moves and trend days that can manifest. So first and foremost, let's look at some of this news. Prime Day. Prime Day is here from Amazon, right? The macro economy can be highlighted by many micro events, and one of them is on tap over the next 2 days or 48 hours. While there have been concerns about the retail sector in recent months, as the last wave of pent up pandemic savings has come to an end, so far the expenditures seem to be holding up fairly fine. The success of Amazon Prime Day will be yet another data point, considering that front, with consumer spending expected to be healthy amid cooling inflation and tighter labor markets. Online transactions over the 2 day event are forecast to increase 10.5% on a year over year basis to $14 billion. And according to Adobe Analytics, which measures e-commerce transaction data, strong spending is likely to be driven by steeper discounts, which could range as high as 22%. Adobe also expects electronics to have the biggest discounts at 22% versus a discount level last year of 14%, with other significant deals likely for apparel, home furniture, toys, and sporting goods. So the shopping holiday is anticipated to generate strong back-to-school spending online this year, due to in part the slightly later date on the calendar for Amazon Prime Day. Discounts and promos are available on millions of items across more than 35 product categories, including lightning deals that sell out fast or expire in just a few hours. Some even linking the bonanza to the Black Friday, right, to the new Black Friday, but with a lot less chaos and waiting in line, although that is changing as well. Amazon's level of discounting could have an impact on other companies in the retail sector, ranging from Nordstrom to Target, which also conduct big sales during the same period to compete with Prime Day. So Amazon shares are up 45% over the past year, and the stock is just swimming in catalysts, according to investment group leader Envision Research. Looking ahead, Adobe even sees $229 billion worth of online spending in Q3, which is up about 7.2% year over year. On top of the $503 billion, up 7.4%, spent by U.S. consumers in the first 6 months of 2024. So Amazon pretty much topped out right at that $200 level. So what we're looking for here, right, they've pulled back a little, and this Amazon Prime Day, we could go and retest those prior highs, but if it bodes well, right, the news that's coming out pretty strong right now, we're probably going to see a more expansive move in Amazon to the upside over the next few days, right, once those numbers are released. And not to mention, we do have earnings around the corner, right? This is yet another catalyst. Oh my god. Excuse me, people. Apologies. Morning, everyone. Mick and Mike. So earnings come out Thursday, or expected to come out Thursday, July 25th, which happens to be next week. And that's another catalyst that is going to take place in Amazon. Now, as we're looking at other aspects, right, there was news over at the RNC. Donald Trump selected Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate in the presidential election, sending shares of Rumble, right, up as much as 29% on Monday. Vance is an investor in the conservative focused media platform, and his stake may be worth around $1.5 million at current levels. Meanwhile, Trump Media and Technology, DJTI, was up 31%. Why did I say DJTI? DJT. So it gapped up pretty aggressively yesterday, got sold off, and is kind of pulling down here pre-market. There could be a play in these. We'll see how these guys shape up, but I haven't really looked at this in quite some time now. In terms of other news, all the new cars sold in the European Union must be fitted with new safety technology that tracks the speed limits and limits it when needed. So according to the new rules that went into effect this month, the intelligent speed assistance system will automatically ensure that drivers do not exceed the speed limits through AI, GPS, sensors, and cameras. How effective would this be? Well, the European Court of Auditors recently said that the EU's measures won't lead to fewer deaths as implementation has weakened and Europeans replace their cars less often. While the US does not have such measures in place, and California recently passed a bill mandating passive speed limiters. So, we did have some news here pre-market. We had the retail sales that came out, some import and export prices as well, and that kind of helped markets rally a slight bit here, putting some upside pressure in these equities. Now, what we had, we also have a Fed speaker at 2:45 today. We have a housing market index and business inventories that come out later in the session. Now, what's going on here, right? Yesterday, we made a new all-time high in the S&P 500s before slumping down into the distribution lows, which sit between that 56-65 area and that 68 area in the markets. And we rallied from that region and into the overnight session. What's going on right now is we're trading the top band of a distribution at 56.95-96 area on the S&P 500 futures, and realistically, we're shaping up with a lot of upside pressure. These bears, they've had chances time and time again, but they're reluctant to break into areas lower. They're reluctant to take over imbalances to the downside. And right now, we're seeing that very evidently as prices continue to spike from key levels. So this is very reminiscent of what happened last week and how markets are shaping up to potentially find a trend day to the upside. Now, there's a slight little area that I'm looking at. There's a caveat here. As long as we can potentially hold that 95 to 97 area on the S&P 500 to the downside, and we actually break these low 80s and actually get an aggressive offer through those areas, that is going to mark the potential turning point and a potential lower high, something that we were looking for yesterday. Now, it's very important that these prices make new lows and continue back into the bottom band of this balance. Otherwise, if we start to see a bid through this 96-97 area on the S&P 500 futures, honestly, there's most likely going to be some kind of expansion trend day to the upside. These buyers are just like pent up right now. They're building up a lot of momentum, and every single pullback, right, significant pullback, gets rebid fairly aggressively in prices, and buyers come out in shockwaves to kind of dismiss these sellers. So we're at a very pivotal point yet again, and it's not looking super healthy for these sellers, so you got to keep a very close eye on what's going on. Now, with that, right, I guess a shorter update. Everything went a little better today in terms of the audio and the video. So I hope everyone has a great trading day. We'll be back tomorrow to do it again, and on Thursday, and that'll wrap up the week. So check out community.tradeproacademy.com. I'll see you guys in there as we are about to open our live trading room for our traders. So we'll chat soon, everyone. Let's see how this thing shapes up. And the sellers are yet again in trouble as the day opens up. Let's see how they might wiggle themselves out of